Hello there, beautiful people. Today I'm going to be doing a snack size painting with a which is a riff off of my larger paintings. So it's going to have some probably a gas mask, some flowers, and the theme of my new series is basically that we have the power to kind of rise above everything. We rise. It's heavily inspired by the poem from Maya Angelou, "Still I Rise," and yeah, basically just gonna have some fun and yeah. So I'm using a 2mm Molotov marker with some neutral gray and white golden high flow acrylic mixed in there. So let's get started and see where things go. Thanks.
Okay, working on the sketch here. Just kind of trying to keep things balanced. Fill out the space. Put some hands in there. Put some flowers. Get that background in there. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a bit and then use some white to basically erase my, I wouldn't call them mistakes, but it's more like just, kind of figuring out the design and how things are going. So, yeah, let's get to waiting.
Okay, here I'm using some titanium white. Just kind of cleaning up the hand there. Works pretty well as an eraser. It's nice and opaque.
Okay, the white's dry, so now it's time to lay in the background. I'm going to go with a kind of an electric green and some like purpley clouds. So basically kind of trying to match some of the larger pieces that I've been doing. So we'll see how it goes.
This toxic green sky. Basically that's kind of what I'm thinking is here's this person made of, we're made of flowers. And it's up to us to kind of fix the things we're doing wrong. So
I'm letting that green dry.
And then I'm working in the purple with the clouds. Excuse me. Toxic clouds there. Probably could have come down a little bit more on that right side with the clouds, but I was thinking I was going to fill that all in. I'm filling it all in with flowers, so it works out okay. But I think balance-wise, now that I'm looking at it in post, I could have come down a little bit further behind like the hose with the purple. And I'm working in the kind of the neutral, the mid-tone gray of the mask and rubber gloves. Gotta protect yourself when you're cleaning things up. Now this gas mask is kind of something that was worn by these, there's a picture in the National Archives of these two women that are kind of all set to go. I think it might have been post-World War II, but or just during World War II. And those two women kind of, I want to say Rosie the Riveter-ish, in that, they're basically working and trying to, showing that they're, all set for the war effort. And it's really a cool picture. I've got to look at it again so that I can remember who took it. I think that's the one thing I keep forgetting is like who was the actual photographer. But just the way he captures these two women, they're kind of staring out. And the stark contrast between them being full of life and then this, kind of gas mask that makes them not look quite human. Yeah, so I wanted to do all these flowers. In my bigger paintings, I changed the colors of the flowers quite a bit. But I thought I wanted to try and see if I could get the yellow to top in front of that purple clouds. And I think it ends up working out okay. Some experimental things that I think I will use in my larger paintings. I think, namely the I think I'll be doing a kind of a glaze for the shadow, which you'll see at the end. But I do think flowers of more than one color tends to work out, and actually thematically that works out for me too, because I kind of think of like this is us. The flowers are like representing we the people, and the more colors and the more variety we have, the better off we are. Always actually makes me think of food. I know it's weird, but I think like the diversity of things that we can eat. Maybe it's because I grew up just outside of Chicago, but just to experience so many different cultures through your food is a pretty wonderful thing. I'm lucky that I don't have too many food allergies, and can sample most of the different kinds of cuisine. So anyway, here's I'm filling in with the background, the greens, and I kind of go with a green and I mix it with purple to give me this dark, really dark green for like those heavy shadows. Because I'm going to be using black later, I'm not horribly worried about the like how dark these are going to be. In terms of, if anything, I probably could use a color similar to this to outline the whole thing. But I'm kind of sticking with the black because of the comic book cartoon aspects of my work. There's something about what it can do. Coming in, kind of cleaning up the yellows. Kind of where my brush might have been a little bit too heavy-handed in the greens. Trying to get them to look more like petals. Chopped out blobs. Also, I want to get some of the highlights on the edges so that the flowers do pop a little bit more forward. Now my larger pieces, like I said, I use multiple different colors of flowers. This I was thinking that this might help me speed up the process by just using one color. And it sort of does, but then at the same time it doesn't, because sometimes I lose a little track of which flower's in front, which is behind, that kind of thing. But I was definitely having fun with this painting. Even when the old inner critic started rearing its ugly head. And I was really, it turned out, it's just, there was a point where I just thought, this isn't going to work at all. It's kind of at this point where I was kind of worried, like, okay, the flowers are so much in front, and then I kind of lose track of where this thing's body is, and I sort of fix it at the end, but there's still some issues. But when you're painting, 5 inches by 7 inches, and you're trying to, your goal is basically to get this done in a day, I think they did okay. And like I'll say later, it's all a learning experience. There's really no mistakes. It's all just, okay, how did this work? Okay, well, let's try that. Let's try it this way next time. Or this time, hey, this really worked. Let me try this and add this to the big things, and just to keep pushing. You gotta just keep pushing forward. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. A little step to the left. Step to the right, turn your knees inside, flip around, however it goes. Yeah, so just kind of putting in some the yellow highlights on the middle.
I'm at the point of the painting where it's not quite going how I envisioned it, so I'm going to test some things out. I'm going to try and pull it together. Basically, trying to make it work. Currently, I'm at the point where I would call this, I probably wouldn't follow through, but that's part of the painting everyday thing is following through. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to use some like purple black glaze to create some shadows, so I can break up the the flowers from the figure, so the figure in the ground and everything. And then we'll pop in some highlights after this. But first, some weird shadows. Let's see how it goes. And of course, I forgot to hit record when I first started putting down the glaze. So we're about halfway through. I think I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, but kind of keep playing. So let's see how this goes.
Okay, you can see some of the glaze drying up here. And I think it pulls it forward a little bit, editing it a little bit more, getting a little bit more dark.
Well, it worked okay, but we'll see what happens when I put it in the black lines and then pop in some highlights. Maybe it'll be successful, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. And the key thing is, it was a good learning experience.
And if you think of everything you do as a learning experience, you can never be a failure. And I'll keep telling myself that for as long as it takes to sink in, which might be forever. Anyway, I like how once these blacks kind of go in there, it really does help break things apart. I'm able to play around a little bit more with what's in the background, what's in the foreground. With my kind of my thick thin lines, and I use this Molotov brush tip marker. It keeps me from having to keep dipping my pen, and sometimes that's, at least for me, what I sometimes struggle with is different focal lengths of my glasses, and where's the tip of the brush, where's the paper, and this by using this kind of a brush pen. It helps me to make sure I know what the point looks like and where it's going to be, and I can kind of keep my focus a little bit better without having to constantly go back and forth between my brush and I guess the puddle of paint, my brush and paint, and keep having to shift back from where my canvas is to where my brush is. So, and anyway, with this, I'm actually using it's not the Molotov black. I'm using a high flow golden carbon black, and I think that gives a pretty good effect. It does have a little bit of a gloss to it, but I think I don't think it's that bad. It doesn't detract too much. Here I'm adding in the highlights, fixing up some of the grays. Fluorescent green kind of makes things pull forward a little bit more. Yep. Signing it, because that means it's done.
Finished. Calling it done. It's not quite what I thought, but it's pretty close, and like I said, this is a learning experience. Every time you do something, the more you can paint, the better you get, and the more you learn from mistakes and can improve upon what you've built. So this is pretty fun. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to title it yet. If you've got an idea for a title, you know what? Put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think, and let's come up with something a little bit wacky, a little quirky. But I'm having fun, and hope you're having fun watching. Make sure you smile early and smile often. Spread some good cheer around, and let's make this world a better place. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again.